Well, good afternoon. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm back, president of TorontoJobs.ca. Thanks very much for joining the event. We've got another 30 minutes left in the segment, and you are welcome to ask questions to the panel that we have. We're just waiting for Ingrid to come on shortly, but nonetheless, we are live, and I am joined by Gord Stockman and Sidiki Simpson, and great of you both for being here. It's an interesting day in the Greater Toronto area. We have a little bit of snow here, but nonetheless, Gord Stockman is principal of Efficient Wealth Management Inc. in Mississauga, and Ingrid Denda, and Sidiki Simpson, financial advisor, Edward Jones. And I'll introduce Ingrid shortly as she comes on. So, Gord, why don't we start with you and maybe talk about your practice, kind of what's been going on through 2020. You were just mentioning a few things if you want to share, and then we'll turn it over to Sadiki as well. So, Gord, why don't we start with you? Talk about your practice and a little bit more about 2020.
Okay. Well, our company is actually a fee-only planner. We've been doing this for about 16 years now. I actually am an IG alumni, so you heard Lauren on the main stage, and that's where I learned my craft as well. We've been doing fee-only planning for a long time. We decided, like I said, 16 years ago, that people were willing to actually pay for advice, and we didn't have to put a product in their hands to do so. And so that's what we've been doing. Now, unfortunately, back in 2003-04, when we started this thing, we couldn't really count on the rest of the industry doing what we wanted to do with our clients. So we ended up developing our own in-house wealth management as well, past just financial planning. And so we're probably one of the longest providers of ETF structured portfolios in Canada as well. So that's what we do. Because our business is well established and different, people tend to seek us out. And so through this year, the biggest change that's been for us is that I can't drive out to see my clients. We were already completely electronic in all things we did. Our people were used to working at home at least one day a week or 2 days a week. So the pandemic has done nothing but make me busy, and so we're very busy right now. And only change in 2000 is I don't like my business quite as much because I really miss seeing my clients. But other than that, it's a good business being in fee-only planning. I have to make sure everybody understands that, and you can build a very, very successful practice. So, okay.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Gord. So Ingrid Denda has joined. We're having some microphone issues. Founder of The Wealthy Musician. Ingrid, do you want to say something? If we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Yay!
Okay.
It's a good thing you didn't hear me before. There's a lot of bad.
Okay, wonderful. So we're just going around to the rest of the panel, Ingrid. So I'll come to you shortly. So Sadiki, why don't you talk about your business and kind of what you do, and a little bit about how long you've been in the business for, and kind of some thoughts as to where you're at right now.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. So my name is Sidiki Simpson. I'm a financial advisor at Edward Jones. I started Edward Jones last year in June, so a little bit over a year in my practice. And I'm originally from Mississauga and moved to a small town in Brantford about 3 years ago. So my practice is run out of Brantford, Ontario. So it's a very community feel. Most of my clients, however, are in the GTA. So when I launched my practice last year, I only basically had, what would you say, face-to-face contact up till March. So only a couple of months, really meeting clients face-to-face and, growing my business organically face-to-face. But having a background in technology, because I came from TELUS, so being virtual and, incorporating technology in my practice is nothing new. Being in TELUS, I led teams virtually across the country. So it's kind of like my previous skill set now come in very handy, and how I serve my clients. Now, it's really navigating my clients and helping them embrace and change. What COVID has taught us in this industry is to prepare for the unexpected and embracing change and really being able to meet our clients' need at every touch point with the same consistent level of service, whatever practice you're in. I think for me in my business, some of the challenges I face now is, like Gordon said, is I love people. And I'm a very relational person. I'm missing, going into the office and having all my clients come in and do face-to-face. There's this sense of personal touch. Finance is very sensitive. So that aspect is a challenging part, but we have to navigate the current climate that we're in. I do a lot of retirement planning, wealth strategies. I work a lot with small business owners, young families, pre-retirees, and just really understanding what means the most to them and understanding what their financial goals are, and just coming alongside them as a coach to help them meet their financial goals. And I think that's where my strength lies, just really understanding the client needs and putting the client first in everything that I do in my practice. I build my practice around my clients. I'm making sure their voice is heard really in the plan, and the plan is really about them and not so much about me or my thoughts, my idea. It's just really understanding what means the most to them and helping them meet those goals.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Great summary. Ingrid. So Ingrid Denda, you've been in the financial services, financial advisor for many years. Why don't you talk about, kind of your background and a little bit about your practice as well?
Right. So yes, I don't want to say how long I've been in the industry, but it's been a long time. Let's put it this way. My CFP has 4 numbers in it. When I call up and answer, they're like, what? No, it's 4 numbers. What? Anyways, so I've been certified financial planner for a long time. I would say like the bulk of my time has been at one of the big banks. And after it was good timing, good kids and everything. But then about 6 years ago, I went to an independent dealer. I'm here today, though, I call it my day gig. I'm here today more about my side hustle, which is wealthymusician.ca. So it's a blog for artists and a lot of people out there that I think, generally speaking, a lot of folks don't have enough financial literacy basics in their lives. And so having dealt with artists, they're particularly, susceptible to that. So when you said about desire to learn, I think in our world, we need to have a desire to teach. And I think some people are really embarrassed and say, well, I didn't know that and whatever. I think having 12 plus years at a bank, also, I think credit and how to handle credit is a big piece that we're missing, because if it's mismanaged, everything goes to heck, right? So I have clients that even just like with credit cards and statements and, they're just really need to be coached through that. To learn, I think in our world, we need to have a desire to. So I think at the end of the day, the blog is all about trying to educate folks. And I put one out a little while ago. It was about people with available credit. Credit is a big if you don't use it, because of it, they can cut you off if you haven't used it in 6 months. And people are like, why did they cut me off? Well, because banks have too much exposure to available credit. So if you use it every 6 months, pay it off. Use a credit card every 6 months, pay it off. So these are types of things I think people need to focus more on with our client base if we really want to be holistic.
Right. Well, that's great. And by the way, for those that don't know, and not many will, Ingrid and I met at the Music Expo, an event that we also run. It's such a specific niche in terms of the music and working with musicians, especially during the pandemic. So hopefully we can come back to that, because that is a specific area as well. So Gord, I don't know. My name is Marc Belaiche. I'm president of TorontoJobs.ca. I'm here with the panel. Really thank you for the 3 of you being here as well. So Gord, maybe, I talked about it at the top when I did the introduction to the event about the top 10 characteristics of successful financial advisors, and everything from proactive to not panicking to putting their clients' interests first. There was a list of 10, but what do you think is your number one, or what you think is the number one characteristics of the most successful financial advisor? Like what's made you successful? Yeah.
Top characteristics of successful financial advisors, and
someone's got another browser open or something. Browsers. Okay. Sorry. All right. No problem. Okay. Sorry, Gord. Go ahead.
Anyways, so I think it says a lot that while you were actually listing the
from proactive to not panicking to putting their clients' interests first.
Wrote down the top 10.
Okay.
So maybe that's a characteristic of always trying to learn, always trying to make sure that I'm at the forefront of things. So I made your list of the top.
Sorry. All right, no problem. Okay,
I certainly wanted to have the opportunity today to just kind of make one point. So I've been doing this 25 years now.
Anyways, so I think it says a lot.
Really people understand.
All right, guys. Sorry, Gord. Is anybody else hearing the feedback, or is it just me?
I'm hearing it.
Feedback from the other people, so I didn't think it was me.
Okay. Okay. So just if you have any other browsers open, just close everything out.
I
if you don't.
got everything closed up.
Yeah, I'm not you, Gord. I don't know. Maybe somebody else does. All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Gord.
No, that's okay. Let's see if we can adjust. So this is a business about the people, and the problem is that the revenues from the business come from the money, and that's the way it's always been. And we really need to trying to change that dynamic, and then you'll be doing the right thing for your clients. It's like I said, I've been doing fee only for 16 years, and they didn't believe it was possible 16 years ago. And even today, people are now talking about shifting the fees. So now it's not, but there's still a fundamental thing missing. And everybody just needs to understand that if you have less than $1 million, this is not about the money. It's about the people. And the less money you have, the more it is about the people. So as those dollars go down, it gets more people orientated, not less people orientated. We all get paid by the money. And so do whatever you can as advisors to just keep the shift going. That's certainly happening, that people are recognizing it's about the people, but we also need to shift away how we get paid for that. And I think it's moving. But we're still way behind where it needs to be, and we're way behind other countries.
Good points. So Sadiki, I know you're a big proponent on women in wealth as well, right? So maybe you can talk a little bit about that in terms of where you see that moving to over the next, 6, 12 months and beyond.
I think from my own practice, and this is just my perspective, women are taking more control now over their finance. They're now, taking ownership, I would say, of their finance. And there's surely a need for more female financial advisor in the industry, I believe. I think we bring a different perspective and a different angle when serving our clients, right? And when you think about women in retirement, in my own practice, I see it like 60% of women, when they retire now, wish they had planned better, or save more, or had better financial clarity, or taken more ownership of their finance. Women approach retirement different from most males. And I think women in wealth, there's certainly a need, as Ingrid said, for education, educating, and really just giving financial clarity. I think if there's anything I want anyone to take away from this session is our job is to really give financial clarity and to help our clients really meet their goal. I have this saying in my practice: if I take care of my clients take care of me. So when it comes to female investors or female, I'll speak from a female advisor perspective. I think one of the things we bring to the industry is balance, a balanced perspective. And we have a listening ear. It's not so salesy, so to speak. It's easy to build trust, with female investors. From a female investor perspective, I think just having a female to understand and to talk to and to help them navigate their financial, issues that they may have in, whether that's credit, whether that's, you could find someone who's a divorcee, and for the first time in their life, they're doing all the financial planning. And there's a bit of shame and fear into that. And just having that sensitivity as an advisor to help your client goes such a long way. And you're just seeing more female breadwinners. Female are making six figures now. I think in a couple of years, as studies show that female is going to control 50% of the wealth in Canada. What does that mean for the industry? How do you service those clients? How do you meet those needs? And I think that's very important to understand for the users.
Yeah, good points. Ingrid, how about you? I mean, let's talk about different segments. I mean, you've got the musician side of it, but you've got different clients in different areas and so on. I mean, there's going to be some that are going to be better in some years than others. What are you finding is better, not as good? Maybe share some viewpoints on that.
For sure. And I echo everything Sadiki said about, women and women advisors. I think someone said to me once, she was with, this guy had all kinds of letters after his name, more than I did. And she came back and she says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think we always have to do like a sort of a temperature check. Like I can't tell you how many times over the past couple of years do you understand how a mutual fund or an ETF works? And they look at you like their eyes glaze over, and they feel really, really like dumb. It's like, no, it's okay. This is why I'm here, right? And I think a lot of people are afraid to admit that they're not as knowledgeable as maybe they should be. We always ask that KYC question, what's your investment knowledge? And they're like sheepish and they say, well, really, I don't have any. So I think you really have to sometimes take it back and build building blocks. I think also with regard to, I think we also bring that comfort level. And, how are you? Some of my clients have really no one to talk to. I know when they call me, I always have something else to do in the background. That sounds awful, but I multitask because I can. And she just doesn't. I'll have to listen to her like why does she wasn't want to wear a mask on the elevator or something like that. And I think listening is a big thing. Even if it has nothing to do with market, it's just being there for the client, no matter what it is. Her bird passed away and she called me like on a Saturday afternoon, but I was one of her first phone calls. So, you kind of have, like you said, balance. We kind of have to bring that balance to the table. And you don't want to get too close sometimes with people, but I think part of it is, we need to sort of gauge where our clients are at in their level of knowledge. I think that's important. Like Gord, you're in a fiduciary role with your firm. So that's kind of like the RIAs in the States. And, I think that's going to be coming up here too at some point. I agree, on that role. What do you think, Gord?
Well, actually, I am an RIA in the States.
Are you? Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm registered in New York. And I've actually started a brand new company this year that's intended to be the first RIA in Canada. So it is here. Nobody knows it yet. We've actually modeled our practice after the IRAs for 15 years, and it's a good model. I was just telling Marc earlier that when we formed the new company this year, after long discussions with the OSC, it's really about empowering CFPs, because having your CFP does not buy you a seat into the security industry in any way, shape, or form. It previously never gave you any credit for courses against being a broker or anything. Your registration was completely independent of being a CFP. Down in the US, RIAs, which actually have equivalent power of portfolio managers in Canada, are primarily formed by CFPs. Where in Canada, portfolio managers are primarily formed by CFAs. So the industry is struggling with the idea that they want me to hire investment professionals to deliver financial planning, and I want to hire financial planning professionals supported by investment professionals. And there's a disconnect, and we're working on that. like I said, the RIA is here. The next step is to actually see the development of some total asset management companies so that we can even not manage assets. And so the new company is advice only. It's the only portfolio manager in Canada that does not manage assets. It provides advice only. And we're using registration for advice only, which is, I don't know, will it work? I think so, because I believe in advice only. And I believe people will pay for advice only. And they have been paying for advice only for me for many years. So.
Yeah.
Look us up. It's called Next Gen Financial Planning.
Yeah. Another thing you kind of touched on is the level of assets some advisors, well, if you don't have $1 million, I don't want to talk to you. And I think that is wrong. I prefer myself.
Absolutely.
I myself, I'd rather have, sounds stupid maybe, but I'd rather have 3 clients that are $300,000 or $400,000 each than one $1 million client. And to me, I think it's a disservice to the people out there. Okay, you know what? If someone's got 20 grand, it's one thing. We have platforms for that where I work in my day gig. But I mean, if I get the kids of some clients, I can't turf them. I can't say, yeah, well, I'll spend a little time on them, get them going, because at the end of the day, these are the people we have to start developing relationships with. Because if we start to do that with the children, then when something happens to the parents, then the children, are obviously hopefully transition to you. One of the reasons people leave when there's a life transition is they don't like the advisor because the advisor doesn't pay attention to them. So, it's kind of hard to balance on a day-to-day, like how much time do you spend with the smaller clients? But I think that, people should not be, if they come to you, they should still be offered something.
I'll say something about, small clients. We're in the people business. That $20,000 client may know a $500,000 client, right?
Mm-hmm.
They may know some, it's not just the client, but it's who they know. And I've seen it so many times where it's not even 20,000, it's like $1,500 client, and they refer you to someone who has $1 million. And it was referred based on how you treated that person as if they had $1 million. And I always tell people this, people give money to people. They don't give money to organization. And when each person stand before you or sit in your seat, you make them feel safe. You make them feel valuable. You just never know. They may mention your name in a room that you'll never enter into, but they did. So that's kind of my best practice and what I tell my colleagues, and we talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sadiki, the problem with that is that you stated that your small client will know a big client, which means you're automatically putting the value on the big client instead of the little client.
Clients are clients.
Well, no, but if their value is that they can deliver to you a $500,000 client, then they're not valuable as a $20,000 client for themselves. And so we need to find ways to make that happen. And don't get me wrong, it's hard. I mean, for many years, I told people that having a commissioned agent was great because at least he'd call you 3 times a year because he wants to sell you something new. So then it was up to you to take advantage of that and bounce it back and say, now that you called me, hey, could you help me with this decision? But these people, there's lots of people that have high income jobs, no assets yet. They got lots of debt. There's lots of people that have never going to have high incomes, but still want to save steadily into their RESPs and their tax-free savings accounts and the like. They need help with the decision. Do I have an RSP? I used to state all the time that I hated February because the mutual fund industry made it seem like everybody, including the paper boy, needed an RSP, which is not true if you actually work on the facts. So, and not trying to make a sale. So we need to be able to address the whole spectrum of people from zero assets to many assets. We actually advertise we don't deal with people that make more than or have more than $1 million or $2 million because they don't need me. If you got $5 million, you can hire whoever you want to. You've got enough money to do so. What keeps us going is that we can deliver high quality professional services to people that otherwise can't write the check. And they can still pay you enough for your time, though. And so we've got to do this. We've been on a monthly subscription basis or a fee-only basis for on a job basis, whatever you want, because we have flexibility, and whatever people need, we'll deliver. You got to get away from the assets. And as long as we see people as only the size of their account, we will fail to deliver to the people that really have the need. And I know there's lots of arguments that it doesn't work. I'm telling you, I have a very successful business that pays me very, very well dealing with people that have $20,000, because they all don't have $20,000. We take every, and I do have clients that have more than $2 million because they love our fees. So, and the service they get. So we have to broaden this away from, and I honestly believe it's a fundamental thought. If you make it about the people, and it's all about the people and the advice you're giving the people, and then you need to establish a revenue stream that's about the people and all about the advice, and it's not about the assets. The assets, frankly, are easy if you do good financial planning and you do good work for people.
That's good.
So, sorry to sound preachy, but
that's good, Gord. Good tips. So we've got a few minutes left here. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to put them in the stage area chat or the event chat for the panel. But maybe just a few wrap-up words for each of you, and then I'll say some concluding remarks here. But Ingrid, anything else that you want to share about, kind of either your business or, your thoughts on the industry, plans for 2021, challenges, anything?
Well, my 2021, can't really say much, but it's going to be very different for a lot of different reasons. Like I said, what I'm here for, the Wealthy Musician, was just sort of bring a little spice to the panel. That's going to continue. I will continue to do it. It is an OBA approved outside business activity, so I cannot generate an income off it. So I write my monthly blogs, and I meet with clients, musicians, that sort of thing. But I'll continue to do that. I speak on panels, that sort of thing. I'll continue to do that. I think at the end of the day, I need to take a look at my practice and see where it's going to head in 2021. Like Gord was saying, there's a lot of changes happening in the industry. Even people go to the bank because they deal with a client advisor. It's like, it's all smoke and mirrors at the banks. Trust me, I was there for 12 years. And, the banks are there to put you into something that the bank manufactures. And, people need to be, I think, again, educated as to how that really does work. But I think, like Gord was saying, you're right. I've got some clients for $500, like small clients that do a monthly pack or whatever, and then they go in. And I think we all as an industry need to take a better control of that. Don't forget about the little guy kind of thing.
Sounds good. I just have a few minutes, and musicexpo.ca. I hope to see you at the next event, Saturday, December 19th, for the next Music Expo.
Right.
There's my plug for music. Sadiki, any last minute thoughts, comments?
I echo what Gordon said. It's about the people. We're in a people-serving industry, and I think as new advisors, they come in the field. Take your mind off assets, as Gordon said nicely, and the dollar, and focus on the people. And like I said, if you take care of your clients will take care of you. Build trust, embrace technology into your organization, your practice. 2021, it's helping clients to prepare for the unexpected. COVID has taught us anything can happen, and we have to learn to embrace change in our industry and just navigate the waters with our clients and just be there for our clients, because clients are confused, and our job is to give them financial clarity and to help them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Gord, 20 seconds, because I'm just at the edge of time here. So last minute comment.
Next Gen Financial Planning, Inc. I already gave my comments.
Plug, right? All right, cool.
The RIAs are here.
Excellent. Okay, so just wrapping things up. My name, again, Marc Bellais, president of TorontoJobs.ca. I hope you enjoyed the event. If you did, let us know. Let your friends know. If you didn't, if you want to give us some feedback, by all means, let us know. You can respond to any of our emails or contacts. Let us know what we can do better for next time as well. The event was presented by TorontoJobs.ca, TorontoEntrepreneurs.ca. and eventlogic.ca, logic with a K. I also want to thank our exhibitors and sponsors, Betterworth, Larry Cooper, Payroll Funding Canada, and many more. Let us know how we did. I want to thank the speakers. I want to thank everybody for attending. We are always looking for speakers and, of course, exhibitors and sponsors. If you're interested, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like. I want to thank our team as well. Alex, Rachel, Ann, Jericho, Jesse, Sandra. There's a lot of people that are behind the scenes, and hope to see you at tomorrow's event. We have the Toronto Entrepreneurs Virtual Conference happening with Ken LeBlanc, who I'm going to be interviewing, CEO of PropertyGuys.com. So that should be an interesting one. So again, that's tomorrow, Wednesday, December 2nd. Look forward to seeing you. If you're interested in other events, eventlogic.ca. And if you're looking for someone to run one of your events, or you know somebody that might benefit from having a virtual event, we can certainly do that. So we're all set up to do that. So thanks again to all of you. Stay safe, everybody. Let's hope we get the vaccines going and it'll clear things up shortly. The platform does actually run for another 10 minutes. So you're welcome to stay in the networking area into the sessions, networking, the expo area. And wrapping things up, thanks very much to Gordon, Sadiki, and Ingrid for being here as well.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having me.
me.
Thank you.
Thank you.